Okay, we're going to look at a right-angled triangle. Now, previously, we have known that this is the hypotenuse and these are the two shorter sides from when we are doing Pythagoras' theorem. But we are actually going to start talking about trigonometry, which involves sine, cos, and tan, which then enables us to find things out like, well, what would that angle be in there? Or, if we had one side and one angle, what would the other side be, and things like that. So we know that the hypotenuse is always is always the side that is opposite the right angle there, and the hypotenuse is always the longest side in a right angled triangle. Now, where we're going with this is we're going to start looking at something called trigonometry involving sine, cos, and tan. So if we have an angle here, we typically call that angle, or I could have labelled that one, but let's start with one down here. That little symbol that I've just drawn is theta. It's called theta. It's a Greek letter, pronounced theta. Other Greek letters that we use for angles, sometimes we use alpha, we could use beta, and so forth. So if I have an angle here, I don't know what that is at the moment. I would need to use a protractor to measure that. But to start with, we're going to learn about labelling the sides of a right-angled triangle. So if this is the angle here, we call this side over here the opposite side to the angle. We could put an O there for opposite. And the only other side that's left is that side here, and we call that one the adjacent side, and we label that with the capital letter A. So the word adjacent meaning right next to. So it's not the hypotenuse because that's already labelled, but the one left is the adjacent side. First example, label the sides with O for opposite, A and H. So if we've got our angle in here, theta, the one that is opposite to that angle is the number 8. The hypotenuse is always opposite the right angle, so the H would go there, and the 15 would be the adjacent. It's right next to that one. Part B, we've got our angle here, theta. Opposite theta is R. The hypotenuse is always opposite the right angle, so that would be our hypotenuse there. Adjacent would be this side. Okay, and last example, we've got theta here. And sometimes we do have numbers like here, or where we have letters, or we've got letters for each of the points on the triangle. So the hypotenuse would be this one here, because it's opposite the right angle. Opposite the angle theta that we've got here would be that side in there. And the only one that's left would be the adjacent. So that's how we would label sides with O, A, and H. And that's really important because when we start to get into trigonometry, we'll be looking at sine, cos, and tan. And in order to use those and go and find angles of various triangles or even sides, we need to be able to label the opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse.